Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Skinny on Beauty with your host, Cheryl Hawley, digital influencer marketing expert for the beauty industry. The Skinny on Beauty podcast offers up digital marketing tips for you to be more successful, inspiration to live your dreams through personal development topics, and tools for you to be a prosperous and happy entrepreneur. All that and more every week, right here on the Skinny on Beauty with your host, the always beautiful Cheryl Hawley and her guests. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, Paul. That was a great opening. I love it.
Wow, you really
like
bring
a superstar.
You bring along the most. I feel like a bum when I'm dressed in here and everything. You guys are all dressed up and fancy and clothes and makeup and everything, hair and everything.
We're a girl's girl.
I guess so.
Any excuse to get dressed is, for me.
Good.
I live my life in yoga pants, so.
I know. It's so funny. I do, too, because I have the luxury of working from home.
Oh, that's why.
And
So
doing yoga.
So this is like a day out,
This
so you
is
get
a
to dress
date.
up. I
This is
get it.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
whenever-
took a photo today.
Yeah.
I put an OOTD online. This is what I'm wearing. I did my makeup, but my hair is still wet. So,
No,
you know.
I'm an old guy. What's an old OTD?
Outfit of the
outfit of the
day.
day.
Yeah. People care. People care.
didn't
They
know.
care about what I'm wearing.
Okay, outfit of the day.
Hashtags,
I don't
which
think
we'll
they
be
want to
talking
know the
about.
outfit of the day I'm using. Let's see, jeans and khakis again here
Should we
today.
do a screenshot?
No.
I'm just kidding. Paul likes to be off camera.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. So we've got a jam-packed hour, everybody. Thanks so much for being here with us. Welcome to another episode of Skinny on Beauty. So today we'll be discussing how to create stories that grow your business with special guest and co-founder of Bounce Society, Talia Prairie.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being here, Talia. Talia and I will be discussing inside tips and tricks to gaining more views and followers for your business strategy through mastering stories. Plus, you will learn how bouncing on a trampoline can transform your health and body by getting fit at, you guessed it, Bounce Society.
What up?
So if you are local to Orange County, make sure you listen all the way to the end, which at the break we'll be switching over to at Unite Socially. So so make sure you listen all the way to the end. So those of you viewing now, switch over to at Unite Socially after the break, because we do have something free for you. So you have to listen all the way to get something free. So I'm your host, Cheryl Hawley, digital and influencer marketing expert for beauty, wellness, and fashion brands, consultant, professor, social media influencer, and you guessed it, entrepreneur. You can contact my company, Unite Socially, about how we can help you increase your brand awareness through social media, digital, and influencer marketing. Or you can follow me on Skinny on Beauty to connect with other entrepreneurs like Talia and hear successful and motivational stories to help you along your path. Today, we will talk about health first, and then, like I was mentioning after the break, go into tips for creating successful stories. So Bounce Society is a whole new cardio and muscle sculpting experience. They specialize in bouncing on individual trampolines in a way that is innovative and exciting. Every class is carefully constructed by incredible instructors ready to help you achieve your fitness goals. So I had the opportunity this last week to actually try out this new fitness and exciting, cardiovascular way of working out. And I had a great time. I went during their new Dirty 30 lunch hour. Yeah. And so, Talia, go ahead and take it away and tell us, first of all, what a Dirty 30 is, and then the background of Bounce Society.
Cool. So a Dirty 30 is a 35-minute, basically cardio jam-packed class. You do some abs at the back of class and some arms just to give yourself a little toning break, but it's primarily just to get that, if you've been sitting at a desk, for the last 4 hours, and then you have an hour lunch break, and then you got to go back till 6 or 5 or whatever, like it gives you that time to just like let it out, get your heart rate lifted, sweat a ton. Like this class does not stop. It's so much fun. And really, like, the trampoline is such a good time helper. Like, you don't want to feel like you have to do the Stairmaster for 10 minutes, and then you have to go on the treadmill inclined for 10 minutes, and then you have to do air squats and push-ups and all that stuff. So being on the trampoline is equal to 10 minutes running, 10 minutes on the trampoline is equal to 33 minutes running at 4 miles an hour. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't run 4 miles an hour. That's for sure. Haven't ran since high school. Thank you very much. Not going to do it anytime soon. So it's kind of just a good way for people that, you know, wake up too early, or they're getting their kids to school. They don't have time to go after work because, you know, they're making dinner, or they're, you know, doing their side hustle or whatever. It just allows them to kind of just take a break from work, come over to the studio, like listen to some good music, bounce their heart out, and, you know, and then wipe off and go back to being a boss ass, you know what?
A lady boss.
Lady boss.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag lady boss.
Yeah.
No, and it was great, you guys. I had a great, you know, workout. I think it was Kim. Is it Kim?
Kate.
Yes. Kate was my instructor, and, you know, we just had a really good time. So it was a great experience. I'll definitely be back. Yeah, for sure.
And it is new to the schedule, and they've just been awesome. Like sometimes when you're in the fitness industry and you add a new class, it takes some like traction. This has been the first time that we've added something super new, kind of random to the schedule that people have just automatically taken to. Like there's always people in class, and there's always like a new person that's like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to try, but you finally added this class that I can make it in my lunch hour. So that's been really great.
And it's also good, like, for myself. Like, I was nervous. I mean, I work out, like, 5 days a week, but I don't run. I do yoga, you know, or I do yoga sculpt, but it's totally different when you're bouncing on a trampoline. So I was a little nervous. So, like, it wasn't intimidating to me to do the Dirty 30.
For sure. Our hour classes not a long hour. It goes by fast, but it is intimidating to think, oh my gosh, like, I have to, you know, we're 5 minutes in and I'm already sweating my brains out. Like, how am I going to do another 50 minutes or whatever, 55 minutes? So it definitely is a good way to like launch yourself into our program, and, you know, getting to know if you're going to be able to do this as your workout, and if you're going to become part of the society or whatever.
Right. And so tell us a background of what Bounce Society is and how you and Chelsea Rush came up with the idea to create this.
Sure. So we were worker bees, and we both taught fitness at a studio that had the trampoline as an element, and they really weren't you know, in hindsight, we thought we were doing great things with it, but they weren't really capitalizing on the health benefits and how much people loved it and stuff. So when that studio shut down, which they did eventually, you know, we had some people emailing us, hey, what are we going to do? Are you going to continue to teach fitness? We love you guys. And the other instructors were also like pushing us to take the lead in a little bit of a way. They were like, hey, we'll come teach for you, you know, just let us know when and where, and like if you can pay us or not. And so it started off as just like a conversation with Chelsea, and we had both grown in that company to an equal level. So we were kind of like passing in the night people. We weren't ever working together
at the same time.
At the same time, like except for like a bit, you know, a manager overview meeting, we would see each other and be able to talk about our ideas and implement those. But otherwise it was just like she did her job well because I never had to do her job, and she didn't ever have to do my job. And so there was always like a mutual like respect for the counterpart of me and her. So when it closed down, people knew that like this was going to affect financially and emotionally and us the most, you know. Like it was definitely going to sit the worst with us. And I remember like going home to my ex-boyfriend at the time and sitting in the bathtub just like you know, crying my sorrows out because I had given everything to this company. But I also knew, you know, there's a deeper meaning here. There's a reason why I spent so much time and energy getting better as an instructor and learning more about business and things like that I didn't even know I was learning at the time, to be honest. So we had like a small little email list of like 25 people, and we started with a free week, and we, you know, said we're just going to offer 5-packs. Like we have our drop-in rate or a 5-pack, like it's this or that. And we wanted to be
options.
we wanted to be accessible financially, but we also it had to make sense. And like yoga did a great thing by becoming accessible. Like, you know, anyone can take a yoga class. You can get a group onto any studio.
Yeah, so they offer bar classes as well.
Yeah, we do offer bar classes. But most importantly, like the studio we were at before was just so expensive. So it was only targeted towards a woman or a man that had that extra finance to really spend on themselves. And we were like, hey, like, let's focus on the trampoline. Let's focus on the rebounder, sorry. Let's focus on everything we can do with it. All the toning exercises, all the sequencing, all the different moves that are fun and cool. And then let's just make it accessible to everybody.
Right.
You know, let's do a price point that a mom with, you know, a single mom with one kid can come to, but it's fun enough and cool enough and exciting enough where the woman who has a, you know, past Orange Theory and Equinox and Yoga Works wants to come too, you know. Let's be cool, let's be fun. So we developed our method in like less than 2 weeks, and we opened the doors, and it's been definitely a learning experience at every waking moment. But like I said before that we went live, like you kind of just have to see every opportunity as like a blessing. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. Like I was thinking on the car on the way over here, I was like, you know, it's the difference between getting your nails done and taking flyers to like the South Coast Plaza parking lot, you know? It's like,
I love that.
It really is. If you have an hour to spare, like you don't get to go get your roots done or, you know, get your facial. Like you are the mother of this company, and it needs you if you want it to grow up and go to college someday. You know, you've got to develop it. So try to think of it like that.
And you've done a great job, you know, like that's why one of the things we're going to be talking about today is marketing your company online, you know, and creating successful stories that will help you with your business, because that's something that, you know, you've been really good at being able to create this this storyline online that engages the consumer, right?
Well, thanks.
So she's like, wow, I didn't know that. But no, but no, it has worked for her, and it's worked for me and all of the clients and the entrepreneurs that I work with. But before we go into that, I do want to talk a little bit more about like the difference between a trampoline and a rebounder.
Yeah.
And then go into like what the health benefits are from the rebounder.
For sure. So, I mean, a trampoline essentially is the one you have in your backyard as a kid, or that you see a gymnast using to practice their triple flips and things like that.
Right.
This is a rebounder, so it's kind of, if you think about it, like rebounding a ball in basketball is you're throwing something at something and it comes back at you. So you're throwing essentially your weight down into the trampoline, and it's coming back up at you at a faster rate than you sent it down because of the springs and things like that, and it's not a ground. So it's amazing. The toning like benefits, even though you're doing cardio at the same time, are like insane, because at the bottom of your bounce, like when all your weight is on your body and your feet are in the trampoline, or the rebounder or whatever. I'm going to say trampoline a lot. I mean rebounder. You're holding 4 times your weight.
Wow.
Because of the G-force. Yeah, so even though your heart rate's lifted, your legs are toning, your abs are toning. Yeah. You have to be squeezing your abs the entire time that you're on there, or else you will not be on there anymore. Yeah. And you're using your arms in a way that's stabilizing, so they're not, if you can see me, they're not like bouncing in effect. They're pressing down in cause, you know. Their cause is to catch everything in your abs and send it down. So you're toning, you're holding 4 times your weight. The cardio, because of, like I said, is 10 minutes on the trampoline is equal to 33 minutes running. So if you're a runner, like, you know, like your legs are going through it, and it might be super fun, but as a supplemental situation, you're 40% less impact than being on the ground. So that's running, jumping, squatting, lifting, all of that stuff. So it's providing a massive vacation for your joints. So you're doing all this, and then on top of that, it doesn't hurt. Like, it's not painful.
And it's fun.
It is fun.
I'm glad that you mentioned the whole, like, you're pressing down into the rebounder, because that was something that I had a hard time adjusting to. That's the wrong word. It wasn't hard, but it was like a different, when you jump on a trampoline, you're like,
You're
woo,
up, yeah,
and like
partying,
you're having
playing.
fun, right? You
Mhm.
know, but like when you're working out for the benefits of working out on this rebounder,
Mhm.
trampoline rebounder, it's like you have to actually think about it differently. You have to push down on your weight, so
Yes.
you're pressing down. I can't explain
It's-
it any differently.
It really is one of those things that just like
You're not catching
oh,
air.
I get what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not jumping up. You're pressing down, and we've started. So at first when we started, we just had bounce classes, and and we were doing great with that. But then we were like, you know what? We want to do more with our bounce class.
Yeah.
We think these clients can take some more sequencing, more creativity. So let's develop our basic bounce. So that's why we have our basic bounce if you check out our schedule. And this is a prerequisite for any of our other cardio classes, not including bar. But you basically get to learn, what am I doing? What are my legs supposed to feel? What is the mindset I need to have? So we always say it's like a person is pressing down on your head, and then
Yeah.
you're just moving from the waist down, and your feet are in what's called a triple flexion. So your heels are flexed, your knees are bent, and your hip is flexed, so your hips are back. So it's essentially an air squat. Like at the top of your down bounce, let's just say, you're in a squat. You're pulling your abs in. It's the same thing. You're just walking on air.
Right.
And then you go for your run, and you let your knees float up, and that's when one foot's on the trampoline. Sorry, one foot's on the trampoline at the same time,
Yeah.
and this, like, especially for runners, is just so good to like let it out from your hips, and to stretch out the hamstrings and stretch out the booty. And that's really what's happening, because you're pressing down through the trampoline. You're feeling that give,
Yeah.
and then the leg can float higher. And then all of a sudden you're like, I've never danced in my life, but my knees are up to my chest, and I'm not even trying. It's just because
Right.
of what's happening with the trampoline, because it's
Yeah, and you can actually go to bouncesociety.com, and they have their schedule online there, and they suggest that you do that. You actually reserve your spot online, but you can just drop in.
Yeah, come on in. We also have, so that's like a basic bounce. We also have a bounce easy, which is more or less if you're, I don't know, postpartum, post-surgery, just freaked out, but you're dying to try the trampoline. That moves a lot slower. That's with Chelsea, who
okay.
I know you've met now, right?
No,
You haven't met Chelsea?
I haven't met Chelsea.
Okay, well,
I haven't met
Chelsea's
you,
like
Chelsea.
the not polar opposite of me, but if I was like the militant, very aggressive one, she's the yogi, she's relaxed, she's a lot more nurturing, especially in the hour that we're teaching, which, by the way, Chelsea and I still teach all the time, which is awesome because we're able to do everything. But that's with her, so that's like the lowest level. If you're like, oh my gosh, I want to try the trampoline, but I'm afraid I'm gonna fall off, or I'm gonna I'm afraid because I had a knee surgery, and trampoline, or our bounce classes might not be for you. And that's kind of just like the harsh truth. Like, you might not enjoy it, you might not love it, but I promise, if you give it a fighting chance, if you come and you think of it more like a skill than just like going to a spin class to get your calories in, you will find that you get to grow exponentially. Like,
right, and you'll see the results too, because
that too,
it's like, it's quick, right? It's like 10 minutes. You said 10 minutes on a rebounder is like 33 minutes running. Yeah. So you'll see the benefits. So I know that a lot of people are probably wondering, a lot of you are wondering, like, well, what about if I'm not coordinated?
So coordination is learned. Even though some of us, get put in soccer really young, or we get put in gymnastics, or we play a lot of hand-eye coordination video games, it's a practice. So I get it all the time, and it's more or less just how important it is to you. We're going to give you the basics. We're going to give you the skills. We're going to give you those advanced cues so that, generally you are going to get to know it. And some people, get it right away, and some people don't. And it's funny, because the people that say that the most, they're not necessarily uncoordinated. They're just a little clumsy. They're just like a little bit unaware of like what their arm is doing.
Yeah.
And that's really cool too, is we are massively building like body awareness. So we're toning, we're balancing on the trampoline, because the trampoline obviously has what are they called? Ropes that stretch out. You're on an unstable service, so all those things like, oh, I'm uncoordinated, I can't stand on one leg and move my other leg at the same time. You bet your bottom dollar you're gonna try.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, give it 3 classes and you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna get to surprise yourself. And when those breakthroughs happen, that is the single most satisfying thing about doing this. Is when someone's like, I'm terrible, my friend dragged me here, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, buy our Groupon 5 classes, tell me how you feel in 5 classes. And they're like, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do this. This is awesome. And you're like, yeah.
Awesome.
I told you.
Yeah, exactly.
Told
exactly.
you so.
So while I get Paul, tell them where you're located in Newport.
Sure. So we're actually in Costa Mesa, which is the 92626, and we're on the west side over in the industrial district. And yeah, so if you know where Trader Joe's is, or Michael's, or Petco, we're just over by there where they're putting up all the new apartment buildings. And we're pretty accessible, which is kind of nice. So, like, if you hop off the freeway on 19th Street, you're, 2 blocks away. And if you come from Huntington, you just come up Superior, and we're on the left. And if you come from Newport Coast or Laguna, we are just up Superior North and to the right.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's easy to get there because we've all got Google Maps, right?
Yeah,
but it's in like an industrial area, right? Which makes it more exciting.
No soundproofing need for that. When you're opening a business, you don't. We were a pop-up for a long time before we opened our first brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And everyone told me, just stay a pop-up as long as you can. Gain the capital. And it wasn't that we didn't have the capital, but we were determined to to do what was necessary. We had to build out our studio. We put our floors in, we put the mirrors in, we built walls and all that stuff. But it was important to us that sound wasn't an issue because people love to complain when they can hear you. And like, I'm sure this place is pretty soundproof, but
it is,
yeah, but it's really expensive. So
to do that.
It is.
Yeah.
So when you're like, I want to be on 17th Street or a busy street in your city, like, you have to realize if I'm next to a hair salon, they're going to complain about the music. If I'm next to a pet store, the dogs are going to be barking because they can hear the music. If I'm next to a Starbucks, people are going to be annoyed because they're trying to work on their computer. So it is off the beaten path, but we like it. It's kind of fun. We're in like a garage.
No, and I love
cool.
and I love how you mentioned like that you did your research on it all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, market research when you're building a business is very important for your success.
Yeah.
So
and it comes with its own ups and downs. Like the dudes next to us work on motorcycles, so they're loud, but we just bump it up louder.
Right.
And that's it, because there's no they could drill into the ground. I think that's or they say the level of a freight train. So we're not that loud. So as long as we don't get that loud, there's nothing the city can do, and we're aces.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So after the break, we're going to be switching, if you're watching on my channel, we're going to be switching to Unite Socially and talking about how to create stories that will grow your business. So make sure you stay tuned.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
And we just want to point out to those of you that don't know that 80%, 90%, even more of companies use influencer marketing. You don't even realize it. That's how they grow their business. So if you want to increase your reach on social media without breaking the bank, there is a company that can help you do it. They know how to do it. Unite Socially. They can get you connected with targeted influencers, those people who will influence your audience to make a decision, to become your online advocates. They can teach you how to find these people and cultivate a relationship with them to help grow your brand awareness and increase your bottom line sales. That's the bottom line. Unite Socially offers a complete list of digital marketing services, including producing personalized podcasts like this for your brand, They do all the work so you can reap all the benefits. You get the guests, they do the rest. Contact Unite Socially today to get free consultation and channel strategy with an industry expert. Visit them online at www.unitesocially.org. Isn't that what we're all trying to do? Unitesocially.org. All right, back to these girls are having way too much fun in here today. They're
I
literally
agree.
bouncing off the walls here today.
Hi, everyone.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get Cheryl up to the mic here, though. She's,
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There she is.
Here I am. Thanks so much, Paul.
Can I just ask a question? Because I
Of
got
course.
a picture. So this is, you're telling me that a bunch of energetic young 20-somethings hop on a trampoline
Yeah.
and start going berserk.
Not
And-
berserk. It's controlled movement.
Controlled
but
berserk. All
I
right.
love Paul's question.
And you guys actually burning calories while you're having a ball doing this?
we are burning so many calories. I would say anywhere from 750 to 1,000 calories in an hour.
So why have I never heard of this before? I've
I
heard of
know,
a million
right?
ways to work
Innovative,
out.
that's why.
What?
Yeah, it's innovative. That's
It's
why.
innovative. Yeah, people are afraid of it. I think for the most part, like not like, afraid, but a lot of people are like, I just want my friends to come in, but they won't come in because they don't.
Are they
think-
afraid they're going to bounce off the tramp, or they're
Yeah,
just going to hurt or
maybe,
something?
maybe. I think people just don't like to try new things, especially when they're used to their, cycle
Their
class
workout,
or
yeah.
their sculpting yoga, which is great. Like I'm not knocking anything. If you have time to work out, do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But do they have old guys like me? I'm in my 60s here. Would
We
some
have
old
some-
guy
we
jump up
have
on the
some-
tramp here? And
I honestly, we have some people that you would never expect, and we have 14-year-old girls all the way. We have a woman that's 65, and she bounces like nobody's business. Like I could hire
I would
her
have loved
to
to be in
teach.
that
She's
class.
insane. And then we have some dudes. Yeah, we have some husbands that come with their wives and boyfriends that come try it out. And really, you either like it or you don't. And I think when you're like with branding and stuff, when you're doing a brand, you have to know like. It's not going to fit everyone, especially when like everything is about the brand.
yeah.
And you have to create the environment that, and you have to be willing for people to go, I didn't like it, I'm leaving. All right, bye.
Well,
Right.
I'll-
you have
I'll-
to know
know,
your target market.
I'll say one last thing and I'll let you go back into it. I think
Okay.
when you say it, I'm reminded of being a kid on a trampoline, which
Yeah.
is the coolest thing. Or my grandson, you put him on a trampoline, you can't get him off.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks that's just bouncing is the most fun, simple, childlike thing you can do.
It
right?
really is. It's really hard to feel. We always say it's hard to feel blue when you're bouncing. So, and the benefits, they're actually all listed on our website at bouncesociety.com. And the psychological benefits are just as amazing as
I'll bet.
the physical ones.
And
So
the
it's
only
pretty cool.
barrier I would see is one, I'll either bounce off the tramp, or one, I'll look foolish.
You might look foolish. You won't bounce off the tramp. I've
Yeah, you
literally
won't,
never
yeah.
seen it. Knock on wood.
Yes,
I haven't.
Oh, knock on wood,
Okay.
too. for
Not
you.
just saying
Well,
that.
it's like doing a podcast. It's trying something that seems like it's very fun, but people say I can't do that for some reason. I think everybody
Right,
can.
and we
yeah.
were talking
Well,
about
I didn't
that,
know
actually.
I could do it.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we actually went live with OC Talk Radio. Is like just starting, just starting.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're going to start with our stories today is making sure that you just start. You start promoting your brand. You start using all of the tips that social platforms have, or excuse me, all of the tools that social media platforms are offering you today, because
Yeah.
that's what your consumer is looking for.
Use them. They're free.
They're free, yeah,
Free
and because they're free. So, did you guys know that over 250 million people use Instagram stories every day? Every day, and
That's hard to believe. Say that number again.
and it's a statistic from Instagram. 250 million people use Instagram stories daily.
That is
There's 250
crazy.
million people in America, so it'd be like every person does it once a day.
Yeah.
every
I sign on every day to 3 different accounts.
every single day, and stories are more being like the consumer is more on a story.
Yeah.
They're more apt to look at a story than they are your actual post today.
Yeah, it doesn't. It matters what you post. So I shouldn't say that, but it definitely doesn't. Before there was like this vibe of like, oh, your flow. Remember that
Yes,
little moment in time
Yep.
where like you had to have the right coloring, and you can like see it even if you scroll down on Bounce Society. You can see where that was the single most important thing about the
Right.
Instagram. And now the single most important thing is stories, I would say,
Yes,
when it comes to
absolutely.
I'll just tell you
promoting.
that from our own perspective, I think this is a storytelling medium because you don't get just a second. You get 20, 30 minutes. And why will people listen to this? Because they're stuck in a car. They're at the gym. They're bouncing. They're doing something. So they give you, there's
They're
time.
on Instagram Live.
And they can't watch and they can't read, so they're listening. But I'll tell you, we live in a tribal society more than ever. And the tribe, how do you get people into your tribe? Stories. Let me tell you how we do things here. Let me tell you the
Yes.
old stories. you know.
Exactly.
Tell them about the good old days.
And and our experience at Unite Socially is that half of our clients are using stories inefficiently. So the goal for today's story is or the goal for today's show is to tell you and educate you on how to use stories efficiently. So if you're watching live today, just to define what a story is. So stories are temporary videos or photos that are strung together to form a slideshow gallery that will tell, well, you guessed it, a story. So if you visit Bounce Society, you will see stories that Talia has saved to their Instagram profile as highlights to educate and inform her followers. So Talia, why don't you go ahead and take the stage right now
Sure.
and tell us just point out two highlights that you have on your page that you've aligned a business strategy behind.
Yeah, so the first one is collaborations. I was thinking about this before. The most important thing is that people know that you want to get involved in the local community. And this opens the door for opportunity to see what working with you looks like as another business. So we're in the fitness industry, which is health, which is beauty, which is lifestyle. So we cover a broad spectrum, but we can only do so much. So it's not uncommon for, you know, a little boutique store that's trying to push product of clothing or, you know, makeup or whatever to say, hey, can we come in and can we work with you? And or can we send our clients a free class to your studio and just let them know that we like bouncing here. So that's the big one. Collaborations is letting people know that you're ready to work with people. And sometimes
B2B marketing.
Yeah, and sometimes it requires some work on your part, and there's not always like an apparent financial gain, but there's a loyalty gain. And if people shop at the store you tell them to, and they get their eyebrows done at the place you get yours eyebrows done, and they work out with you, then you've really created that like membership person that wants to drink the juice you drink and wear the clothes you wear and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That makes
it's your
sense.
target market, and
Yeah.
it's also brand
Your
awareness.
tribe.
Yeah,
Right?
and you
Your
don't
tribe,
and
right?
you don't want to
Yeah,
fake
your
it. I
tribe.
think the biggest thing with stories, and I can touch on the other one. The other one is press.
Yeah,
Press. Post your
Yeah,
press
you
because
have to. Yeah, boost.
because people want to know that you're a real thing. Like people don't think people do the trampoline thing, and that's the biggest thing. People actually do that. People actually come to your studio. Okay, yeah, they do. Thank you.
yeah.
But press is a good one where you can have your write ups if you were in a local magazine, or if for this on OC Talk Radio, or Skinny on Beauty, sorry, I will definitely be posting clips of this on our story. You know what I mean? So that people know, hey, I'm a real person. I actually own this studio. Come check it out. So press
traction.
and collaboration. I also think the last one is we have an instructor of the month, which I've actually been really lazy about. I'm sorry, you guys. I love you all. Is highlighting a real person within your brand and community. So sometimes it's an instructor, sometimes it's a client, and I just say, this is so and so, and she started 3 weeks ago, and she takes every day, and she has lost 2 dress sizes, and isn't that amazing?
Right?
That's cool. So testimonials, yeah, I guess. That's an old school way of saying it.
Yeah.
No offense. But yeah, I think the most important thing is when you're posting stories is would this matter to me? And if you are your brand and you are your company, and that essentially Chelsea and I are, everything we do is for the benefit of Bounce Society and ourselves at the same time, and our clients and our instructors and our method and things like that. So would you watch it? Would you watch your own story? And you'll know, and then you'll figure out, what things are good to post, what hashtags, and you know when you look at your friend's story, if they've put too much on there. There's the location and a hashtag and a website and a GIF and she's tagged the 3 people in the photo. Nobody cares. No one's gonna go click on all those things. So I always say, who, what, when, where, why, right? So those are what I like to hit when I'm gonna do a story, like, you know, for Saturday morning.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
basic writing. Who,
Yeah,
what, where, when,
who,
why.
what, when, where, why, maybe how, but who, the clients, where, Bounce Society, what are we doing? Bouncing on trampolines. Why? Because it's bomb and we have fun because the music's good, you know, and it doesn't have to be that serious. I don't have to list our health benefits every single time. It's actually pretty rare that I have to do that now. And
because
then,
she's built a following and she's educated her followers, which is why you don't have to always do it.
It's kind of nice. And then how is on our website.
Right.
Follow us on Instagram,
Right.
you know, or how do I take this person's class? Here it is. Here's her schedule, you know?
Yeah.
And you just have to answer those questions as many different ways as you can and keep it interesting.
Yeah, and so let me just point out, you know, what Talia's saying is she's noticed results from creating strategized stories without having the ability to link to her stories. So what I mean by that with linking is it's a great business tool for small businesses that Instagrams allow us to be able to link in our stories to an outside website. So if you have 10,000 followers or more, you can link in your story. So viewers can actually just swipe up and then they'll be directed to the product or event that you're promoting, and so they can get some more information and hopefully convert into a sale. So the key takeaway here is you know, you can see results from story creations without having 10,000 followers. And we've definitely noticed that, you know, with Unite Socially and some of our clients. And my suggestion is getting somebody that's seasoned in the profession to take you there, to get those targeted followers so that when you get to the 10K, they're actually, you know, creating ROI for your business. You know, there's a purpose. Like if you just go out and you buy 10K followers, and what is that really going to do when you have a swipe
Absolutely.
up? Yeah.
Hashtag nothing. That is my biggest, like, I was saying the other day, this is like a short story real fast, is like someone asked me, we have 2,000 followers, which doesn't sound like a lot in this day and age, but honestly, we have activity on every time I post a story. Someone writes, I want that shirt, or I'm coming to her class next week. I've just been on vacation. I wasn't even necessarily talking to you, but okay, great. You know, I'm going to sign you in right now and hold you to that, you know, but my biggest thing is I don't want people to come just because Taylor Swift comes to my studio. You know, that's not going to do anything for my brand. That's not part of my brand. My brand is people that want to be here almost every day, and they see the benefit of being here spiritually and physically, and also, you know, they're willing to work for something, because this is, like I said, it's not just something where you hop on a bike and you're just, you know, rolling your feet around. And when you take class, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just not. So the idea, like, to be like a tourist trap or anything like that necessarily, like some of this, you know, crazy studios in New York are like, oh, Carly Kloss works out there, or, you know, whoever. So what? Those trainers aren't building any kind of relationship with those clients or those people, you know, because they're people at the end of the day. You know, if they just came because they were visiting New York, and maybe your studio is really busy and that's great, but then what? You know, how does that fit into your brand?
Right. And so, you know, when you're working with influencers, which we'll get into here in a minute for one of my tips, it's important to make sure that they're aligned with your studio. So Taylor Swift wouldn't be a great person that you're working with
unless she comes unless she comes all the time, you know. But and I'm using that. I love Taylor Swift. Do not get me wrong. And if she came, I'd freak out. Okay, let's be honest. But
Taylor, if you're watching, we love you.
If you ever see this, Te amo mi amor.
She's watching.
But you know, you get what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to just, you know, send a rando your press kit and say, hey, please, you know, come take a class in my studio and put it on your Instagram. Like, you know, there's more to it than that.
Yeah,
I think.
strategy. So using strategized, like, you know, this social media has to be part of your marketing program. It has to be strategized within. And so that's some of the tips that we're giving today. I want to transition into, you know, you have a really cool event coming up with a very dear friend of mine, actually, his company, Fullerton Cares. And so, woo! Thank goodness that was half full. We're okay, Paul. I didn't ruin anything. So I'm going to hold this up to my live, but it's the 3rd annual Beach Bounce for Autism with Fullerton Care. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. So when we first opened, we, you know, had some trampolines, and we were like, hey, you know, we're in Newport. Let's take them to the blacktop at Newport Elementary School and just bounce on the bounce on the asphalt in front of the water, and let's donate the money, because we don't need the money, and it would be a cool way for people just walking by to see that we exist. And this is our third one, and it is gonna be huge. So the first one was like this rinky dink. We had like an easy up, and some people showed up, and we did like 2 classes, and it was fun, and we had like a little raffle, and we raised like $250. Like, it was not that big of a deal. But this year we have 3 different classes. We have sponsors from Suja Juice, Jump Sport Fitness, Trampolines, which are actually the trampolines we bounce on in studio, Bee Sugared Salon, which is where me and all our instructors get our waxing done, which we all know how important that is. Yes. And then Health Warrior, which is a brand that focuses on superfoods in their bars and things like that.
Ooh,
and then
nice.
Newport Pain and Wellness, which is our favorite place to go get chiropractor and massages, which are so important. I'm sure you've talked about that before. Yeah. So, and everything's donation. We have, $25 donation that gets you your class and a hat. We have a special logo that's out right now that is our Autism logo. And then we have $50 donation, which gets you some raffle tickets, and it kind of goes up from there. And it's going to be so fun. This is a great time to come take, especially if it's your first class and you're just like, what is it? I want to try. Yeah, it's outside on the water. It's April 8th, Sunday, April 8th. So it's in 2 weeks, which is insane. And or 1 week.
About 1 week.
Sunday.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's in 1 week.
Easter's coming up.
We're gonna have childcare there, so just let us know if you've
big.
got
that's huge.
little tot, and you because it is a Sunday, and we know that mommies are mommies and daddies are daddies, and husbands can come bounce too. You can bring teenagers. If they're under 18, we just ask that you let us know. Guardian, stuff like that.
I could ask one question.
No.
Why autism? Why benefit autism?
You know what? It's so funny that you ask. It is April is Autism Awareness Month. So honestly, it just happened. We were like, let's do something that matters. And I don't have a personal story with autism, and neither does Chelsea. But I know it's a problem for a lot of people that they.
Can I have a suggestion to you? You should, and this is going to sound kind of strange.
Should I make one up?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to make one up. This is real. She just told me for 20 minutes about being real here. Let's make one up.
Never.
We had somebody come in. This is slightly, maybe this is a slightly different story, but I think it goes to the point.
Yeah.
There are lots of kids out there who have all sorts of struggles. For example, blind children. Mm-hmm. And there are ways that they can experience things safely that they would never otherwise do. And I'm thinking autistic kids, too. Yeah. There is a program at Shea Riding Center where they have autistic and blind kids sit and ride on a horse, something you wouldn't expect any of them could do or would do. And they say the amazing thing is because they're feeling it. Mm-hmm. They're feeling something they've never known. Somebody holds them on and helps them and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But they say that the results are just how they make connections with these people that they couldn't otherwise reach. I'm wondering if the same would be true, just bouncing, feeling that sensation, being on a
they actually do use trampolines as the stimulation as a stimulator for a lot of autistic children to get their wiggles out or their energy out, or to just have a good time. I don't know if they use rebounders or full trampolines or not, but I know that it's
a tool.
And it was just crazy that we just chose it the first time around because April happened to be Autism Awareness Month, and we wanted to give back, and we do breast cancer in October every year too. So those are kind of the ones we go for. But no, we just knew that this would mean something to somebody, and I've been super blessed to not be affected by anything that I could have a great story to tell, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you just told the story that what you're doing doesn't just make everybody feel good. It has a special connection. It is an actual serious tool they use in therapy.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Because again, what little I understand about autistic kids is they can't process what's happening in the world. That's why they're shut down.
And this gives them
overwhelms them everything around them.
Yes, and they seem to have a lot of fun, and it helps a lot with their
connection,
like
to
anxiety
feel,
and things like that. So
and energy levels,
Oh yeah.
And so a really cool way that Chelsea, I was mentioning to her before the show that she could actually use with the stories is she can turn their logo or her logo that she's created for this event, this special logo, into a sticker. So I don't know if you guys know, but you can take a photo or a video and then turn it into a sticker. So how you do that is you take a photo or video and then tap on the smiley face icon within your stories, and then tap on the sticker option with a camera icon. And then the camera will open up so you can take a selfie, or you can take a photo of the product or the logo, whatever you want to turn into that sticker. And you take that photo and then you can manipulate the sticker just like any other sticker. And so my suggestion was that she uses her flyer and then she can put the Fullerton Cares like little sticker logo over it within the stories. And so it's just layering. You know, we like flashy things, which is our
I
GIFs
didn't
are
ever
really.
think of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a cool way to have like a different element within your story and to be able to tell the story in a different way. And then, of course, you know, you still want to tag, you know, whoever you're mentioning.
And it's still, and within that, it's cool to like have consistency on like a day like the April 8th when we are posting tons on our story.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to have that like consistent maybe logo in the corner, that this is a special situation.
Right.
And we don't always get to do this and stuff like that.
Yeah. And, you know, you even at the live event, or if you're doing press prior to the live event, say that, you know, you're showing the location, like say Chelsea is at the beach, checking out the location, and you're still in the studio getting all the rebounders in the truck.
Exactly.
You can go live with a buddy by selecting the live button. So if you go, we're live right now on Instagram, but if you go live on your own feed, and then once you go live, you'll see 2 smiley faces at the bottom of the screen, and you can tap on them to choose from the list of people that you want to go live with. So just make sure that, you know, whoever you choose is, you know, the right person, because choose wisely, because you can only go live with one person. So you can share updates, information, venue location, product hauls, influencer packages, like whatever you want for like an inside view on your business. So it's a great way.
Somebody just tweeted in and said that's a lot of effort to do, to which I'd say just hire Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You could just hire me.
Seriously.
So stickers are a really fun way to engage with your audience and grow your business. So a couple other tips that I have for you are if you have like some of your favorite stickers that you use over and over again, once you go in to the smiley icon, if you just swipe right on your within your stories, then you'll see the recently used stickers pop up. So it's just a really seamless, easy way to be able to use them over and over again.
Time is money, honey.
I've noticed that you use GIFs a lot. So I'll let you talk about GIFs because we all like shiny objects, right?
Yeah, GIFs are like the new cool thing. Honestly, the best thing to do is use the trending ones, I think, because I think if someone sees like you know, say they follow like a, you know, let's just, I don't know who.
They follow you.
Like, say they follow me, right? No, but I'm saying, like, say they follow me and they follow a coffee company. And there's, like, an emoji of, like, Britney Spears crying or something. Like, just something silly. It's kind of funny to see.
You're kind of obsessed with Britney Spears and Taylor Swift.
Anyone
and all these
blonde
people.
in the pop music industry,
She's got a dancing background.
Where do you think I got my look? No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of funny to see, like, how such different situations could use like the same one. So
I love that.
I would say
tip.
Stick to the trending ones. You can always search if you're looking for something specific, but and use them like you would send to your friends. You know, if you send gifts or memes to your friends, keep it appropriate. I know it's easy to not, but you know, like if I was posting this, like we're gonna be at the beach, so I might search beach and then just use like a cute wave emoji or like a palm tree dancing.
Somebody tweeted in and wants to know, would you ever make your own? I always say GIFs. You guys say GIFs, or the little animated little things here. Would you ever make your own in the hope that people would take that viral?
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's when you hire me to make
savvy.
Yeah,
that's when you would hire a professional. I think. Yeah. I mean, if someone sent me one of myself, I would use it every day.
So we've got about 5 minutes. We're going to wrap this up. I did promise all of you. I see some of you have transitioned from Skinny on Beauty to Unite Socially, so thank you. And I did promise you a special offer for listening all the way through to the show, to the end of the show. So Talia, why don't you share with them what you're offering for our listener base?
Did I forget?
Yeah, you did.
She has no idea.
That was like deer in the headlights.
No
oh my gosh, I
idea.
did so well up until those.
No, that's okay.
So
So I believe it was if you buy the intro package, then you get a free class.
Yes. So if you come take your first class with us, it's $15 and you get a class for free. So your second class is on us. So it's a BOGO.
Yeah, so it's a BOGO
Now
deal.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was like, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. So, yeah. So,
So
come take a class and just let us know that you.
Did she have to kick you
Found
under
this
the
out.
table to get you to do that? Or did she just do
No,
that?
she
Oh,
just.
my
I read her mind. Women get to do that. Men can't read our minds yet. Not yet.
God. Thank God.
And I'll put all these directions. I know that sometimes if you're just listening, it's hard to follow along with the tips. So when I turn this radio show into a blog and the podcast sound bite on there, I will mention some of these tips in text so that you can follow along. And the BOGO deal will be on there, so you get something for free. And I do end all of my shows with a inspirational quote. And so
geez,
just
I wasn't expecting that. Okay, from me.
yeah.
So every night my mom sang me the song "Que Sera Sera." So it's
Wow, there you go.
I think it's in
Doris Day, a
Is it
million years
Doris
ago.
Day?
Right?
Yeah. And I think it's Spanish. I'm guessing.
It is. Yeah.
And it just means whatever will be will be.
Oh, I like
so
it.
that's kind of
Yeah.
nice if you
I like
if
the
you
story behind it.
if you operate in a high stress environment or you kind of bring it upon yourself, which some of us are guilty of, meaning me. It kind of just reminds me that whatever's gonna happen is going to happen. So if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. So it makes it kind of easier to just like let the little things go, and big things are hard to let go of if
Yeah.
something's not working out. But
Have faith in yourself and in the
Yeah.
process of what you're trying to do.
yeah,
That's always really important when you're building something
even
from
with
scratch.
this, guys, like we are selling spots left and right, and I
The
hope
beach
that
bounce.
if you have time, you can come to this because it is going to be so cool, and next year's going to be even bigger. But if only 5 people show up to this.
No, there's gonna be more
whatever.
5.
No,
Yeah.
I know what I mean.
But you're
you know what I'm
saying,
saying?
yeah.
Like whatever we did what we wanted to do. Even if we
Yeah.
only raised $25, like that could mean all the difference to somebody, and it was worth it to me. You know,
and
like so.
like it's just it's the action, right? So putting the action behind what you want to do is really what it is all about, and letting go of the expectations.
Mhm.
So I love that. I love the story behind it.
Thanks.
Thanks so much
I
for
was
sharing.
excited.
So it's been wonderful talking to you, Talia.
Thanks,
Please
thank
visit
you.
her at Bounce Society, and
Should I go on Google or YouTube and find Doris Day singing Que Sera
If you
Sera?
want to.
That
if
should
you
be-
want
Yes.
to, yeah.
My mom is like probably crying that I even remember that.
Oh,
She's-
Mom. Hi,
If you're still
Mom.
watching, Mom.
Yeah, hi, Mom. So thank you so much, listeners, everybody, for watching and listening today. Don't forget you can tweet me at Skinny on Beauty if you want to be a guest on the show. You may also reach out for a consultation with me on building your own beauty or health brand presence online, in addition to social media marketing and influencer services at www.unitesocially.org. Until next time, stay beautiful, Orange County.
Woo.